We are live. Welcome. It is Wadjet, and I'm here for another weekly live tarot chat. If you are new to this challenge and this live stream, welcome. The challenge that I've been focusing on that I created is the Reconnect with Your Inner Guidance Tarot Challenge. And we are doing a weekly live stream every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central during the length of this challenge, which is 45 days. So if you haven't participated and you're interested, be sure to check the description for the link to the playlist of my YouTube channel so you can start from the beginning. You have plenty of time to catch up. And of course, you can start this challenge at any time. So just be mindful of that. This is open to all levels of interest when it comes to tarot. You can be a super beginner, or if you have experience, it doesn't matter. The whole purpose of this challenge is to reconnect with your inner guidance or strengthen your intuition and just continue to build trust within yourself. So, if you have any questions, let me know. We're going to talk about the theme that we have been focusing on this week, which is connecting through the chakras. And if you have any questions, whether it's related to the theme for this week or just in general, questions about tarot, if you want to share your experiences with the challenge so far, or if you have anything that you're not sure of, any cards that you have been struggling to interpret, we can talk about that as well. So let's talk about chakras. So with this theme for this week, I have placed if you've noticed, for those of you that have been following along, the chakras are not in order. I intentionally did not put the chakras in a sequential order, and I will talk about that. So we started with the crown chakra. Now, with the crown chakra, the reason why I started with the crown is because in relation to the seven main chakras, this seventh chakra, or the crown chakra, is the highest vibration in relation to the chakras. So I want to start there. You might be used to, or maybe you have worked with chakras before, if you're familiar, and you might be used to working from the root, which is the first chakra, and working your way up to the seventh chakra. From my experience, that has not, and it varies from person to person, but from my experience with working with chakras, it has been best to start from the top down. But of course, it varies from person to person. And I want you to honor wherever you are and what resonates with you. So that's always important. But when it comes to the crown chakra, that is why I started there. So greetings, Wanda. How are you? Welcome. So let me, what was the next one? I have my notes over here. So I had the crown chakra the next day. So for day 20, I had the heart chakra. So one of the things with the crown chakra, and if you're watching the replay, post #replay, and let me know if you struggled with the crown chakra. If this is an area where you did not feel a connection or you're not really sure how to interpret it, be sure to let me know. Now, when it comes to the crown chakra, I mentioned this is the highest vibration with this particular, through all the different chakras. So I want to start there because that is source energy, right? It's located either at the top of the head or just above, and that varies from person to person. But this is how that connection is established, through the crown, right? And that's the whole purpose of this challenge, is to reconnect with your inner guidance, strengthen your intuition. So we want to start with you connecting to source energy, or just opening or activating that area, if that area is blocked, or at least having awareness of it. Then we moved into the heart chakra. Now with the heart chakra, I view that as being the most accessible, like where you have the most connection to the heart chakra, if that makes sense. So with the heart chakra, so it's because that's connected to your emotions, connected to relationships. It's very much a part of who you are, and when it comes to how you navigate the world and how you connect with yourself emotionally. So for that one, that is usually the most, you can feel that one the most, or you can tap into that one the easiest, for lack of better terms. So I hope that makes sense. Um, greetings, greetings and welcome. Now, when it comes to the heart chakra, this is also the center, right? The center between, like, or the intersection. So you have the upper chakras, which is the throat, the third eye, and the crown, and then you have the lower chakras, which is the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root. And so you have this middle ground with the heart. So let me know what your experience was with the heart chakra. But when it comes to vibration and connecting to love, because love is the highest vibration, right? That tends to be accessed mostly through the heart chakra, which is why I went from the highest vibrational point through the 7 chakras and then went to the heart chakra, because love is typically accessed or identified in the heart. Let me know if that is making sense for you. Then what do I have next? So for day 21, I went to the solar plexus chakra. Now, this solar plexus chakra is, I feel, and the word that's coming up is, it is the most powerful. And so by powerful, this is all about connecting to your personal power. How is that relevant? How does that relate to this challenge and this alignment, right? We have access to source, we're connecting through love, and then we are moving into the chakra that is really grounded in, really ground yourself in your identity and who you are, how you identify. And this area, the solar plexus, especially with this challenge, this could be one that you struggle with. If you are new to tarot, or you are uncovering who you are spiritually, you're navigating your spiritual journey or your connection to self, you might feel like you're still trying to learn who you are, which is perfectly fine. That's the goal here, right? You want to release the parts of yourself that no longer serve you. You want to connect and learn who you truly are, connect to your true self, because that's how you establish your personal power. That is how you even build confidence in yourself. So that's why I went to that chakra next. So we have, connection to source, we have love, we have personal power. Is love a feeling or a state of being? It is both. Love is both a feeling or a state of being, which is part of the reason why it's so powerful, because it is both. And for any of you, if you listen to my podcast, which is, the name of my podcast is Fit Body, Fit Spirit. If you listen to it on the podcasting platforms, if you go to the very first episode, which is how to connect to your intuition or something like that, go to episode 1. And I talk about how I define intuition. And in that episode, I talk about how there's a difference between your emotions and your feelings. And this is very relative to the heart chakra, because this is how I view intuition, right? When you're tuning in, intuition is a neutral inner knowing. It's very neutral, and it's not connected to your emotions. It's connected to a feeling, because a feeling, and this is my definition of it. Your definition might be different. But a feeling is, because there is some, these two do complement each other, and these words kind of intersect. We use these interchangeably, but in relation to intuition, My definition is I view feelings as a state of being. Emotions can also show up as feelings, but emotions can be reactive, they can be proactive. When you are feeling, you are in a state of being. And it's a very narrow line. And this is why when it comes to refining how you communicate spiritually or your intuition and understanding that, it's different. That's my definition of it. I hope that makes sense. Definitely check out episode 1 of the podcast, Fit Body, Fit Spirit. And let me know if that answered your question. Greetings, Aaliyah. How are you? Wait, am I saying your name right? Alaya? Is that correct? Let me know. For solar plexus, I got Page of Wands. The flame is there, but I don't know how to use it for my highest and greatest good. Yes, great interpretation with the page. And let me grab my deck here. Hold on just a second. Just realized. Okay, let me grab my deck so I can pull cards and show them for those that are just tuning in. Let's grab this Page of Wands. And also, that reminds me, if any of you are interested in joining me live on video to ask me any questions, or if you want to share your experience with the challenge so far, you can come live on video. Let me pull up this video so I can post this in the comments. But it's totally optional. You can also post your questions here in the comments. But it's totally okay. Let me do this because this is one of the things, right? So one of the most challenging things is one of the most challenging things can be interpreting the cards. And let me just pin this comment. Okay, so that is pinned. That's totally optional. Sometimes it's a lot to unpack or a lot to type, and sometimes it's easier to join in video. So that option is there. So let's explore this Page of Wands. So let's explore this Page of Wands. And here's the things with these prompts. This is all about, it doesn't matter what your experience level is with tarot. It doesn't matter. This is about using your intuition, allowing your intuition to reveal to you what is showing up. So she got the Page of Wands for the solar plexus, right? And she mentioned the flame is there, but I don't know how to use it for my highest and greatest good. For those of you, if you have tuned in to any of the previous live streams, I briefly covered this, the court cards, because that's where a lot of people get stuck. When I was learning tarot, I got stuck there. So one of the things with the court cards is you can look at the court cards as a progression of rank, of experience, of I'm sorry, I have my for those of y'all don't know, I have a snake. I have a ball python, and she's here, and she just she just fell on the floor. It's totally fine. Sorry. So just look at it as rank, as a progression in experience, awareness of self, things like that, right? Level of responsibility. So what she was getting here is she knows it's there, right? The Wands is all about fire. It's all about, taking this action, but not knowing how to utilize it. right? So there's an interest there, there's a will, there's a drive, there's a curiosity. But what happens with that if you are in the novice state? If you're in the novice state, then sometimes you can lack confidence in how to move forward. You don't have, and you might need more guidance. You might need more clarity and understanding, right? And think about how this shows up in the solar plexus, because what did I mention? The solar plexus, why I chose this from crown connecting to source, heart connecting to love, right? And then solar plexus, which is about power, personal power, personal identity. So this showing up is now there's a different level of awareness, because you can be in the solar plexus through the lens of the ego, but you can also shift that and view this through the lens of through the spiritual lens, through the intuitive lens, which is what we're doing here, right? When you are becoming that next version of yourself, when you are shedding, there's this kind of renewal, and this, now you're just like, okay, wait, I knew who I was when I knew who I was being, and when I was this version of myself, but now I am becoming a different version of myself, an ascended version of myself. So I don't know how to fully navigate that. And here is the thing where people get stuck in trying to navigate who they are. You get stuck in the mind. And it's easy to get stuck in the mind when it comes to the solar plexus. When you start to connect intuitively and start to override the ego, now you can amplify who you are as a divine infinite being. So let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. Yes, it did. Thank you. Awesome. Poor baby. I know, she fell so hard. She's a trooper, though. She's a trooper. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. So for those of you that are just tuning in, I am kind of recapping what we've been covering so far with the Reconnect with Your Inner Guidance Tarot Challenge. If you have questions about tarot, if you're new to tarot, if you are new to the challenge, or if you have been in this challenge game and you have questions or want to share your experiences, you can post in the comments, or you can click the link that is pinned in the comments and join me live to ask questions or share your experience. And also, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Wadjet, and like this video if you are liking it so far. Yeah, so let's talk about, so we covered the first three. Now on day 22, we covered the throat chakra. Now with the throat chakra, one of the reasons why I put that after the solar plexus is because there's often a link between the solar plexus and the throat chakra. And when it comes to personal power, if you don't know who you are, or you're struggling to stay grounded and rooted in who you are, or struggle with confidence, then how can you speak your truth? How can you speak the truth of you, who you are, if you are not rooted, if you are not grounded in the truth of who you are? Does that make sense? So oftentimes people get stuck in, because it's like you don't know how to articulate who you are or what you know. And this shows up a lot when it comes to your intuition and being able to trust what you are experiencing. So this can lead to consuming a lot of information, but not finding your language within it. I talk about, spiritual language, and owning your language. And so by that, I mean, certain things that I say or certain words that I use might not resonate with you. And that's fine. There might be a different word that resonates with you, but we might be talking about the same thing. And it's going to be different because we are different beings. We have different experiences, and the things that activate you or trigger you or block you will be different when it comes to, will be different from person to person. So that's one of the reasons why I mentioned that. And if you doubt your intuition, if you doubt the things that you're experiencing, then you're going to struggle like speaking those things. And the throat chakra is not just about being vocally expressive, like and speaking to someone or speaking out loud. This is about your internal communication. And that's even more important. And part of the work that I do, part of my mission is to encourage you, to empower you to find your truth, to articulate your language with the words and the things that resonate with you, that allow you to understand what resonates for you. One of the things that I notice in like the spiritual community, the spiritual conscious community and things like that, it's like, oh, it has to be like this certain way. It has to be, oh, it's like, no, this is this and this is that. And it's like, no, that's not really the case all the time. You can follow a certain protocol, a certain path or whatever, and there's a certain methodology, or there's a certain way to do things. That's fine. It's fine to operate within a construct, but it's also just as important to understand what resonates with you. What verbiage, allows you to feel grounded, allows you to really tune in. And you're always going to hear me say, whether it's on a podcast, a video, whatever, I'm always going to say, like, this is how I define this. But if what I'm saying doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. I don't take offense to that at all. Find what works for you. So I feel that's really important. So let me see here. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome. Definitely makes sense. Okay, good. I have been feeling chest pain. If you have been feeling chest pain, Stephanie, I would highly recommend that you first, this chest pain, if this is something you've experiencing, I would definitely recommend contacting your health practitioner, contacting your doctor. You should get that checked out, especially if this is something that is physical. Have you been to a doctor? That is something you should definitely get looked at if you've been experiencing pain. Yes, finding my own spiritual language. Yeah, I believe that's really important. And this is why knowing thyself, solar plexus, personal power, confidence, when you feel more confident there, when you start to establish that more, you're able to vocalize that even more through the throat chakra, which is about, self-expression, speaking your truth. How can you speak your truth if you don't know who you are? How can you speak your truth if you don't have confidence in your inner knowing? Is that you see what I'm saying? So that's really important. For the throat chakra, I pulled 2 of Pentacles and 3 of Swords. I express outwardly by doing things for others. Inwardly, I mute myself to the point it hurts me more than telling the person how I feel. Yes, listen, I have been there before. Let me find these cards. And now, and you're reminding me, actually, when it comes to jumpers or having more than one card, I've addressed this in some of the comments of the videos. It's perfectly normal. If you get more than one card, that is totally fine. Add both of those cards, like just however many cards you get, that's fine, right? The intention is always to pull one, but if Spirit got more to say or got something else, listen, let spirit read you for filth like they be reading. let the universe read you for filth like they be reading me. Okay. Listen, they be getting me, man. They be getting me for real. And also for jumpers, we got the Two of Pentacles. Your jumper is your card, and if you get more than one card, just honor what's showing up. Honor what's showing up, because there's always a reason. There is always a reason. All right. So let's unpack this. Okay, so for the throat chakra, you pull the Two of Pentacles and then the Three of Swords. Now, keep in mind, I'm sharing these cards. You might be using a different deck, but I mentioned I'll be using the Rider-Waite. So how you interpret your card based on the imagery, what might be different here. But the foundation is the Rider-Waite, which is what we're focusing on. Now, I express outwardly by doing things for others. Inwardly, I mute myself to the point it hurts me more than telling the person how I feel. One of the things that is showing up for this throat chakra is it's also about, so you're saying that you mute yourself to the point where it hurts. I feel like this is also overthinking with the Three of Swords. Constantly doubting yourself. The Three of Swords is also about doubt and disappointment. And how the end result, right? That how you're hurting yourself is like, oh, I'm disappointing myself again. Oh, I don't trust myself again. Oh, I don't feel worthy enough to speak my truth. So something I want you to think about. And I've been that person for sure. And even with, look at the Two of Pentacles, and Two of the Pentacles is like, okay, well, you're trying to find this balance. And, sometimes another thing that's coming up is people pleasing. Are you trying to it's like, oh, well, let me just say the things that are going to make other people happy. Fuck them, respectfully. I mean, seriously, like when spirit has something to say, my approach, let me share my approach. Okay. If you've been following me for any amount of time, I first thank you. If you've been rolling with me, if you resonate with things that I share, but you should already know I am straight up no chaser. I'm straight to the point, no sugarcoating. I don't do that, right? That might not be your style. It doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily matter the delivery, but the clarity is definitely important. Be clear. Put it out there. Some people need the sugarcoating. I am not that person, and those people probably don't subscribe to anything that I'm about. Sometimes you need those hard truths, right? That's why, when it comes to how your message shows up, it shows up as you need it to show up. And if spirit is like, hey, this is how you need to say it. this is what's happening. You got to put it out there. You got to trust how it's showing up for you. So something to be mindful of. So you see how these two chakras, how there's a link there, and this link can be a barrier. It can be in the same way you have, if you're familiar with cords, and you can have like, cutting cords and things like that. It's like these links are like cords. They're attachments sometimes. And this shows up in the work that I do in the as a cosmic energy healer. So just something to be mindful of. And if you're interested in learning, I will be offering a workshop going more in depth about chakras in the near future. So if you're interested in my approach with chakras, then that's something that might interest you. Yeah, or how you experience the situation. My solar plexus was the Justice card. My throat was the High Priestess. So let's unpack. Let's look at the Justice card for the solar plexus, and let me know, Wanda, what came up for you for the Justice card in relation to the solar plexus. You know, balance. Also feeling like, you know, authority is coming up. Control, maybe feeling the need to control. What are some of the things that come up for you for your solar plexus? Because it could be a lot of different things. But what I'm hearing is control, balance, and authority. Those are the words that I'm hearing right now. So just let me know if that resonates with you when it comes to your solar plexus, whether it's having those things or lacking those things. Maybe you're seeking those things in the solar plexus and you're trying to find those things. So let me know if that resonates at all. Yes, I'm using the Book of the Dead Tarot. Yeah. So how you interpret the imagery might vary, but always, you know, a good point is to, if you want to unpack a little bit more, take it back to the Rider-Waite. Yes, I do overthink. I definitely do that. You're welcome. That's what resonates for me about you. Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad that my approach resonates, because I always say I ain't for everybody. Nor do I want to be, right? That's why we need more people showing up. And that's why I want to empower more people to speak their truth. I want to empower more people to do their work, to live in their divine purpose, right? We all have a mission in this world. We all have a divine destiny. We all have a way that we are supposed to be of service in the world and help others, right? And that's what I want to empower you all to do. Yeah, spirit will tell me to, but then I don't. I question if it is ego or spirit, and then moment passes and it makes no sense to say anything. Yeah. So yeah, that's the area where you really want to start trusting. So, and you know, when it comes to second guessing yourself, it's first looking at, and this is something you can even ask yourself. Ask yourself this question right now. Tune into your solar plexus. Tune in. Just make sure. I don't know where she went. Okay, it's fine. Tune in to your solar plexus. Do it right now. Tune into your solar plexus. Anybody that's watching, tune in if you're able to, right? Tune in to your solar plexus and ask, am I being led by ego or by spirit? Which aspect of myself is dominating my solar plexus right now? Ego or spirit? You need both. There's benefits to the ego. Ego is not some bad thing, so just be mindful of that. Ego allows you to operate in this realm. So tune in and let me know what comes up for you. A lot of control. Yes, it resonates. So we're talking about the Justice card in the solar plexus. So yeah. And you know, when it comes to control, one of the beautiful things about the spiritual journey is that it's less about control and more about allowing and flowing. And that can be really challenging to get to that point where you are releasing control and you're trusting the universe. You're trusting your guides. You're trusting your spirit team, your ancestors. You're trusting the process and you're allowing things to flow. It can be very hard to let go of perceived control. It is a perception. Speaking from experience here, by the way, it is a perception. So something to think about. And what I have learned along the way is that the more just over time, the more I allow myself to flow and trust the universe, trust my intuition, and let go of like the control, the more in control I am. Because for me, trying to control everything it was like, why was I trying to control everything? I was trying to control out of fear. So it was like the source of my control was very low vibrational. It came from fear. It came from wanting to stay the same, wanting to stay in my comfort zone. True control is letting it go. Is knowing that fear is inevitable, is knowing that stepping out of your comfort zone is required in order for you to experience growth, in order for you to transition. I think we talked about in the comments of one of the videos earlier, Wanda, the death and the rebirth. We die every day. We have an opportunity. There is a death and a rebirth on a daily basis. And what I've experienced is that letting that, like when I am releasing that, the more in control I am. Because now I'm operating from a different vibration. I'm operating through spirit, not through ego, not through fear. And I start to look at fear through, I'm always talking about the lens of curiosity. I look at fear through the lens of curiosity, like, why is this fear showing up? What is that? What is that? Why is that there? Now, this doesn't mean I take action right away on like, oh, okay, I'm just exploring the fear and being curious about it. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm doing anything about the fear. Not yet. It might take, depending on what's going on, it might take me longer to, explore that fear. But it's like, okay, there is fear here, or there is discomfort here, or there is anger here, or what is this? So, something to be mindful of. I'm feeding my solar plexus with food. That is very common, actually. Food can be used to stifle, to mute the solar plexus, to keep you distracted from yourself. That shows up a lot in the solar plexus. So that is very common. Thank you for sharing that. Also, digestive issues. To keep you, it's like a way to silence the self. Silence the self, right? And this is where, fasting and cleansing, these things can be very, very beneficial. Because now you're not drawing all of your energy to the gut. Now that energy can be used to clear up other things in the body. So I see that a lot in the work that I do with energy healing, and just even as a health and wellness coach and as a personal trainer. This shows up in so many different ways. I got a lot of clarity of how my past impacts me. It really controlled me. I'm so glad that you got clarity on that, because that in itself is powerful, of just the clarity and the awareness that you get from past experiences. Because then you look at the lesson from those past experiences. It's like, okay, what have this is what, like, this was the situation. The next step is, what is the lesson here? What am I to learn from this? And then what is the next step after that? So I'm really glad you got clarity. Now the next step is, what is the lesson? What have you learned? And then what are you going to do about it next? My ego dominates my solar plexus. So now you want to act, now that you know that your ego is dominating your solar plexus, now you want to ask why. Why is my ego dominating my solar plexus? What is it holding me back? What is in the way of your spirit and your intuition being able to balance out that area? Yes, I'm learning to let go and allow. The feeling is different than I expected. There is a peace and grounding that is unfamiliar to me. Yes, yes. That is beautiful. That is a beautiful place to be. And a lot of people get scared of the lack of knowing, the newness. It's like, oh, this is unfamiliar. I don't know what this is. I don't know how to deal with this. This is new. What do I do with this? So that's a beautiful place. Being in the unknown, being in the unfamiliar is a beautiful place to be, because that is how you become more, by exploring the unknown, discovering who you are in this unfamiliar territory. That is literally how you grow. And sometimes, is it just me, or if you are in a state of being, always being stressed out, or always wanting to control, or always being in a fear state, or always being reactive, or always just going, and then you get the opposite of it, you're just like, oh, wait a minute. I'm feeling kind of aligned right now. What the hell's going on right now? It can feel very strange. And you might get a little suspect, like, I am not used to feeling peaceful. I am not used to feeling peaceful. I don't trust this. What is this? What is this peace and alignment and joy? What is this abundance about? I'm not worthy of this. I'm going back to being fearful. Being fearful and being in a state of lack, because that's comfortable, because I know how that works. That's real. That is so real. Yes, it's very scary. It is. It really is. Do you have any podcasts on how to eat to support your spiritual journey? I do have a podcast episode that talks about hunger and, let me pull it up. Hunger and something. I'm looking it up right now. Hunger and your emotions. I unpack a lot there. And that would be a good place for you to start. That is episode 9, Hunger and Your Emotions. Let me see if I can share this link. And I will be talking more about these topics as well. Let me put this in the comments. Hunger and your emotions. And this will be the direct link to the podcast. If you are new to my channel or new to my podcast, I have been branching out and doing, I was only doing audio for a while, and I've recently started doing video podcasts along with the regular podcast. So I just dropped the podcast episode yesterday. So you have the video on the YouTube channel, and then you have the audio on the podcast platforms, and you can find it on all podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google. You can find all there. So the video podcasting is very new. I've only done 2 episodes, the one that dropped yesterday and the one last week. So all the other good stuff is on the actual podcast platform. So definitely check that out. But definitely check out Hunger and Your Emotions, because I talk about that. And in the workshop that I'll be doing with the chakras, I'll be talking even more so about health and how that shows up in the chakras. So that's going to be part of that as well. And I also did, this is in another group that I had, but these are topics that you will be seeing more of, those topics in the podcast and in videos that I'll be doing, because that's right in my area. I'm the intersection between wellness, spirituality, mysticism, health and fitness. I'm right in the middle there, and I bring all those things together. So stay tuned. But you have, does fluoride really stop you from connecting? So yeah, when it comes to fluoride, I mean, this is how I feel about a lot of these different things, right? The only thing that can stop you from connecting is you. That is the only thing that can stop you from connecting. Now, how can you optimize your connection? That is the question, right? That's where I like to zoom in on. You can optimize your connection by optimizing your physical human form. You do that through health, whatever health means for you, right? Through health habits, which I talk about health habits in another episode. But you have to find what resonates for you. This is why intuition is important. As a matter of fact, episode 8 is health habits for spiritual growth. And I talk about some basic things, because what I learned as a personal trainer was like, okay, people are doing all this physical stuff, but they're missing the whole spiritual intuitive part of it. And then as a spiritual mentor and a spiritual coach, I'm like, oh, people are getting the spiritual part, but they're missing the physical stuff. And I'm like, well, Spirit was like, girl, you got to bring these two things together, because people are missing the connection and the importance of this mind, body, spirit alignment. At the end of the day, we have to use this human form. We're in it. Yes, we're infinite beings, but we are here for a reason. So you have to work with both. And that is why it's so important. So when it comes to intuition, this is where you start to tune in. As a matter of fact, check out the podcast, the video that I just dropped yesterday, because I talk about how to start strengthening your psychic abilities. Okay. And what you can do right now, and I give you a practical exercise that you can start doing to figure out what is going to work for you. This is honoring your yes and your no, engaging that through clairsentience. I talk about that. I break that down in the video that just dropped yesterday. So check that out. You can watch the video on YouTube, or you can check out the podcast, episode 32, how to develop your psychic abilities when you don't know where to start. Because you have to find out what is going to resonate for your body. Fluoride might not have any effect on you, but for somebody else, it might not resonate with them. So that's what's more important. And this is why, as a health and wellness coach and as a personal trainer, I don't promote like I'm vegan, but I don't push that on people. What I focus on is what you have to find, what resonates most with you. And I'm going to help you figure that part out. I'm going to help guide you to whatever that best version of yourself is. It doesn't matter the style of eating. It's all about what allows you to feel your best self. What allows you to feel the most optimal self. Does that make sense? At the end of the day, more people should eat vegetables. Everybody eat vegetables. That's the one common denominator among all forms of dietary preferences. And you have to find what allows you to feel your best. And that might change over time. That's what matters most. Because when you are your most optimal self in physical form, then you're optimizing everything else. So I did a bonus podcast. I did a live podcast in my Facebook group, and I haven't been super active in there because I have had Facebook fatigue, y'all. Has anybody else been experiencing Facebook fatigue? I had to remove Facebook from my phone. I was just like, I need a break. It's been a struggle. But eventually that bonus podcast will come out, will be live, but it was a live podcast discussion about health, how health influences intuitive growth. So stay tuned for that as well. I hope that was helpful, Wanda. Let me know if you have any other questions. Hey, Desiree. I was saying to myself earlier this week that I don't know how to operate within my relationships now that this shift has happened. Oh, yeah, that will definitely show up. And just to explore what the opportunity is in this shift. Because sometimes, like, well, you get to learn a lot about the other person, but also about yourself. And oftentimes it's a reflection of like, like, why is this showing up now? Maybe it's time for me to demote this person. Maybe it's time for things to adjust a little bit. So something to be mindful of. Yes, very scary. In the way I communicate with them, like, do I normally say this or that? Does this feel authentic to me? Am I really honoring myself? Yeah, this is why it's so important to, well, first give yourself grace and allow yourself to, you're not, it's going to take time to really stay grounded in that truth and honor what's showing up. But the more you do it, the stronger it gets. It comes from constant disappointment and hurt. So ego steps to be a protector of some sort, not being seen, heard, or valued. Okay, so this is going back to why ego dominates your solar plexus. So that is, it's fantastic that you are unpacking this, right? When it comes to this disappointment. So now you know why it's there, not being seen, heard, or valued. So this is the aspect of yourself that needs healing. Hello, shadow work. And you know that's my jam. You know shadow work is my thing. Here's an opportunity for you to unpack that. So you got work to do. You got some work to do there, because once you get to the roots and you start to heal that part, now you want to fill that void. You want to fill that space with love, with being seen or heard. Because think about it. Think about how this shows up in your solar plexus. I mean, we talked about the solar plexus. How does that show up in your throat chakra? We talked about you kind of overthinking things. It's like, yeah, if you have been conditioned to believe that you should not be seen, heard, or valued, why should anything you say be of value? Of course, you're going to second guess yourself, because what is showing up in your solar plexus is that you are not valued. So you see how that influences the throat chakra? If you don't believe, or if you were conditioned to believe that you should not be seen, heard, or valued, the link, right? You're not going to say things, or you're going to overthink or second guess anything that you want to say because you feel like it's not going to have value. Do you see why there's a link there? This is why I did crown chakra, heart chakra, solar plexus, and then the throat chakra. Because if you don't know thyself, how can you speak thy truth? Speak thy truth. Speak your truth. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Throat chakra been telling me, come hither, chick. We need some work. Listen, mine too. I got some work to do too. Listen, with my throat chakra. And I'm realizing mine is very much rooted in the masculine, feminine aspect. There's so much to unpack. I have so much good stuff that's going to be coming out. Like, so, just even a snippet here with the chakras, and this is my thing. And this is why I'm going to be doing this is why I'm going to be doing this workshop with the chakras. I don't have a date yet. I'm actually pushing the date back. It was supposed to be in 2 days, and I'm going to change all that. But one of the things is with chakras, it's always like, oh, start from the root chakra, work your way up. And it's like, no, that don't work all the time. And I've seen it too much in the energy work and stuff that I do, that things need to be in a different order, which is why you see this show up in this Reconnect with Your Inner Guidance challenge and the theme that we're doing this week with the chakras. This is why it's in a specific order. The other thing, when it comes to the chakras, it's very up and down, right? But there's so much more. So one of the things I've been experiencing is the left and right, to the left and the right, masculine, feminine, and balancing out the masculine and feminine. Who's talking about the masculine and feminine aspects of these chakras? Because there's work that needs to happen there as well. So that's what's been coming up for me with the specifically in the throat chakra, but I mean even just in general. But this needs to be addressed, not just the up and down, but the left to the right. So, hey Jennifer, I was booked today cutting hair. I'm tired. I was tired from standing on my feet and feeling pulled in different directions. Tomorrow I have 2 dance classes. I'm excited though. I'm excited for you for your dance classes. So that is good stuff. Listen, you are booked and busy. Get the coins, honey. But fun fact, before I used to be a cosmetologist. I used to do hair. A long time ago, before the military, I was a cosmetologist. If you didn't know, you know. So I know that feeling of cutting hair and standing for hours. And the thing is, you are inviting this into your life. And there is an easier way. You have to decide that you want something different. That's it. Decide that you want something different. And, you know, when it comes to being pulled in different directions, well, what are you allowing to pull you in these different directions and why? Start there. Good episode. Okay, sorry y'all. I told you I have a ball python. And she's out in the office right now. I'm like, what is she over there doing? For those of you that own a pet, y'all already know the deal. Not that I expect any of you to own snakes, but if you do, that's like super cool. You were talking about it's so hard to get away from fluoride toothpaste. I tried for about 30 days. My breath didn't stay fresh long enough with non-fluoride toothpaste. So yeah, and sometimes it's not about. So if you are noticing that if you are wanting to, fluoride is in everything. I actually did some extensive research years ago about fluoride and it being in all the water, and they use that for treatment and all this other stuff. But some of the stuff when it comes to if look at sometimes it's changing some of the things that you're eating that can help. If you're wanting to use non-fluoride toothpaste, sometimes changing what you're eating, or even drinking more water and consuming more fluids can help as well. Also, tongue scraping is if you're not into tongue scraping or you're not familiar with that, I would highly recommend checking that out because that can also help with keeping your breath fresh. And what tooth I use? What do I use? I use the Hello brand of toothpaste. I believe it's fluoride free. I think it is. But I don't allow those things to, I always try to find things that don't have a bunch of crap in it. That's what I'm using right now, but I'm always looking for other things. But at the end of the day, it's like, sometimes it's not about the product. Start with the basics of you, right? That's just like trying to find a shampoo that's going to do something better for your hair, but really it starts from the inside out. So you might have shiny, like if you're looking for shinier hair or fuller hair or whatever, or you want more moisturized hair, then it starts from what's going on within you. So that should always be the foundation. Yes, what you're saying makes sense. Good. I wrote in my journal earlier that the very thing that protected me now has imprisoned me. Listen, come on now. Ooh, I know that feeling. And that can happen. And it can feel, and sometimes, right, it's a necessity. Where you were at a certain point in your life can feel like, okay, this is what I need. And then when it's time to move out of that, to grow out of that, you're like, wait, I've created my own cell. How do I get out of this now? And this is where breaking out of the, moving beyond your comfort zone, why it's so essential. Yep, stuff has been coming up so much these past 2 weeks that I came to that message of not being seen, heard, or valued. Good stuff. That's what I was, yeah, that's what I'd be thinking. In a sense, no, I know what's best for no, I know what's best for you. This is to protect, not realizing, hey, I'm good. I'm ready to create and fucking express. Yes, do the damn thing. Do the damn thing. Speaking of, I'm telling you, listen. Spirit be putting it out there. So where do we stop at? So I've been covering kind of what we've been going through in the challenge. For those of you, if you're unfamiliar, I am hosting a free tarot challenge on my YouTube channel, Wadjet. And right now we're focusing, it's a 45-day tarot challenge. It is long. It's long considering, compared to most challenges. But basically there's a tarot prompt every day and there's a theme every week. So this week we're focusing on connecting through the chakras. And I've been talking about why I put the chakras in a specific order. And I'm doing a live tarot chat to talk about tarot, people's experience with the challenge, or just with tarot in general. And we're doing that through the duration of the challenge. And I'll be doing a live tarot chat every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central. So if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe and like this video if you liked it. And if you know anybody that's into tarot or might be into this challenge, check out the playlist on my YouTube channel. You can start this challenge at any time. And if you want to catch up with where we're at, we're on day 24. So you can definitely catch up. You can do a bunch of cards at once if you want to. There's a lot of people that do that if you want to participate. So yeah. Greetings, Ruby. What chakra is connected to your feet? So you do have, for this week, I'm focusing just on the 7 main chakras, but there's over 100 chakras in your body, and you do have chakras in your feet. So they're just chakras on your feet, foot chakras, in the same way you have chakras in the palms of your hands. So you can tune in to your, and I feel like this is a great way to do grounding as well. Like you don't have to just use the root chakra to ground. You can ground from the chakras in your feet. So I ended with the throat chakra, and then I followed and I talked about why I started from the crown, the heart, then to the solar plexus, and then the throat, right? So the crown is all about connecting to source. The heart is connecting through love. The solar plexus is about power and personal power. And then the throat chakra is about kind of speaking your truth and self-expression. And it's hard to do that if your solar plexus is not activated, which is why I did it in that way. The heart chakra is typically the easiest for people to access because people connect to emotions and heart and feelings, and that's very popular, right? When it comes to connecting. But the source, everything is about source energy. And we want to, when it comes to intuition, we want to start there because that's how you filter the information. So then we went into the root chakra. And here's the thing. This is why I have personally struggled with the root chakra. When I tried to activate my chakras and do all that from the root, I couldn't find my root because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. My foundation was a hot damn mess. I don't want to be dealing with a broken foundation. If my foundation is broken, how am I going to ground myself in it or activate from that point? I want to activate and this is what resonated for me. This is not going to resonate with everybody. This is just my experience. But it's like, okay, yeah, I don't feel connected here because I'm still all over the place. My foundation is a mess. I don't want to ground in a pile of crap. No, not for me. Is not resonating. Everything's everywhere. So I need to connect to a higher vibrational place. And so learning and realizing that I didn't have to do it from the first and work my way up. I could start from the top down. It was a game changer for me. Game changer for me. But that might not be for you. For a lot of people, it's easier to start from the heart. the heart is a center point, right? It's centered. It's, you know, right in between the upper chakras and the lower chakras. So that might be the place that you need to start. It varies from person to person. But when you can speak your truth and be able to articulate certain things, now you can actually start to establish some footing in your foundation. So here we go with the root chakra. So that's why the root comes after the throat. And then today we have the sacral chakra, right? The sacral chakra is easier to be supported when the root chakra is established, unless you have a lot of healing there. There's another link between the heart and the sacral chakra. That's a whole nother conversation, but something I want you to be mindful of, right? And so let me know what came up for you with the sacral chakra. If any of you have questions about the sacral, because this is also a form of expression and creation, right? So you have 2 points of creation and of creation and expression. You have it in the lower chakra of the sacral and in the upper chakra of the throat chakra. And then tomorrow we finish off with the third eye. So let me look here. I name my chakras. I have a name or a face to them. So far, solar, sacral, root, and heart, but the upper chakras, no idea. I have an idea for throat because mermaids keep coming to me, but no name. No fucking idea. Hard to connect. Yeah, so and that's something. Sometimes you need to connect with the other chakras so you can get more of an identity of how you connect with another chakra. But even start to ask the questions. If you're struggling to connect, go into what's blocking me. Focus on the blockage versus the connection, because sometimes it's easier to connect to the blockage versus trying to get to the connection, because the blockage will lead you to the connection at some point. You have to get through that barrier. But I think it's cool that you name your chakras. That's awesome. They ping pong. Yeah, that can be a thing. And sometimes, you know, this can be, if you have this kind of ping pong effect, it's like, well, now you're unsettled. It's almost like, okay, it's almost like kind of anxiety or kind of like anxious, and you're kind of like constantly moving. It's like, okay, well, what happens if I'm just still for a moment? Sometimes stillness can be very scary. Does that show up for you? Something to consider. Yes, I was in meditation today and felt a masculine and feminine side. Yes. It's very interesting to view the chakras through the masculine and feminine. So I'll definitely be talking more about that, but that has been my experience this week for sure. Narrow my days down to 2. Good stuff. This is true. Start from the inside out. Yes. And that has been my experience. When you start from the inside out, because all the other stuff, it's like, if you're trying to put lotion on, and your skin is always dry because your body is not hydrated, you're not drinking enough water, and you're always going to struggle with that. What does that look like when removing the disappointment and hurt feelings and filling the void with love and trust? So what that looks like, removing the disappointment, focus less on removing the disappointment, because you can't remove it. What you can do, and this is my view on shadow work, this is about understanding why it's there in the first place. Being curious about, why is this disappointment here? Start there, right? Why is it here? What do I need to learn? What is this showing me? What is this revealing to me about what I believed about myself? And how can I transmute this belief that no longer serves me into a lesson that will empower me to forgive and to heal? Because that is the removing. It's about a transmutation, because it's going to come back if you don't have the understanding of why it's there, clarity on who you were or what that allowed you to believe, and then getting the lesson from. It's like, oh, this is what I was shown this because of this. And then you forgive, And then and through forgiveness, right? Through the forgiveness, through understanding, you can allow forgiveness. And then through forgiveness, then you can allow love to enter. Let me know if that is helpful. Because if you just try to just clear everything and you're not feeling, because that's what you're filling in the void with. You're filling it with forgiveness and love and understanding. So this goes hand in hand. Have to renew your foundations like they did in the movie Inside Out. Perfect example. I have not seen that movie, but absolutely, you have to renew the foundation. And this is why, I stay at, my lane is this intersection between health and wellness and then spirituality and mysticism. I bring these two things together because I just see it. I'm always seeing both sides. Stillness is scary. Yep, it is. Yeah, if stillness is scary, then it's like, okay. Usually the thing that's scary is the thing that you need to do. It's like, okay, why is this scary? Start to ask the question of why. Start to ask that question. Hey, Candy J, that hit my heart kind of hard. Geez. What hit your heart kind of hard? Let me know. Was it what I was saying saying about the shadow work and the forgiveness and the disappointment and filling with the forgiveness and love? That's where I need more help in uncovering the why. Yeah, and if you need more help there, I do offer coaching and consultations. If you want some more guidance on that. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can always go to my website and click on Work With Me. And then you can schedule a free consultation. Or if you are interested in, I would say start with a free consultation and then we can go from there if you're interested in wanting to unpack that. Right now, I don't have, if you do that, we can, if you want more guidance there. Yes, that was a part. So yeah, if that hits you, then it's like, hey, that message was for you. So the question is, this is now an opportunity. Greetings, Pia. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome. Yes, what is your question, Pia? Let me know. So yeah, if any of you are kind of struggling, and this is one of the things I do with coaching. I haven't really been advertising it and stuff like that. And I've taken tarot readings and energy healings off of my site for right now, but they will be coming back. But you can schedule a free consultation and then we can see if anything that I offer can be of help for you. How will be my future husband? I am not sure. It really depends. Your future husband depends on you. Your future husband depends on you, Pia. And in relation to what we have been talking about, which is the theme for this week for the Reconnect with Your Inner Guidance Tarot Challenge, is connecting through the chakras. So if you are familiar with chakras, then you can look at what are some of the barriers and what are some of the opportunities that show up for you when it comes to how you identify with yourself, how you value yourself, what you feel you need to feel supported and loved. And also, when I'm saying with me saying that your future husband will depend on you, you have to make sure that you're happy before you have to be happy first. Don't depend on your future partner to be the source of your happiness. The source of your happiness has to be you. And who you involve yourself with, your future husband, needs to be a complement to that. If you are searching for someone that is going to that you want to use, that you want to depend on to make you happy, then it's not really going to work. So I hope that answered your question. All right, we are going to prepare to conclude. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know any final questions that you might have, and if you have a clear understanding of, for those of you that are tuning in and are actively participating in the challenge, when it comes to how I line the chakras up, if that was clarifying for you, yeah, let me know. And just let me know what your main takeaway was from this live chat today. I've been really enjoying these live tarot chats. Okay, ma'am, understood. I have to be the source of my happiness. Understood. Absolutely. It really starts from there. And, I see this happen a lot in relationships. Where people are seeking validation through a relationship status. It's like, oh, well, if I'm in a relationship or I'm with a person, this person is going to make me happy, or this person is going to, when I feel that I am, if I feel that I'm with somebody, I'm going to feel important. It's like, no, at the end of the day, it starts with you. I see too many people jumping into relationships to try to run away from themselves, or try to put responsibility for their own emotional healing and their own trauma on somebody else. And it just never works out for anybody. And then sometimes you get stuck in situationships and it's like, well, we're just going to stay together. We're not emotionally a match, but we're just going to stay together because, we're in this contract together. We're paying this rent together. We got these bills together, and it just makes sense economically. Like, then there's that. So that's a whole nother conversation, but yeah, you definitely have to be the source. Codependency. Absolutely. I see that happens a lot. No group card. I know that's right. Yes, these live chats always come on time and in alignment to what I've been going through. I am so glad. I'm so glad that you were able to tune in. And I hope you're able to tune in next Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central. That's what I struggled with in the past. The universe tested me and brought my ex back around during Mercury retrograde. I blocked him. Listen, this Mercury retrograde was just ridiculous, man. And they will show up. And listen, spirit is petty like that. The universe is petty like that. The universe will be like, we're just going to see how you respond. Retrograde is about lessons. It is the retrograde is about a reintroduction to the things that you are needing to shed or need to remember. That is what I have learned. Yes, helps me to trust myself more. Love that. I realize I have been codependent. And yeah, and that could be a thing. And it's really good to claim responsibility. Claim responsibility for times where you're being codependent. Claim responsibility for the times or situations that you are being an enabler. I have been an enabler in so many situations. I'm just like, damn, this is me doing this. And let me just tell you, you can still progress through your own chaos, through your own stuff. But when you start to take responsibility and have an awareness of, oh man, this is what I'm doing. This is my role in the mess. Now you can be empowered by it and work through it from a whole different lens. You can't be the victim your whole life. That shit is no, you don't grow in being the victim. And so by being the victim, I'm not saying that if you have been in situations where you literally were a victim, but you have the power to don't be in the mindset of a victim. Don't be the victim of your own life. Like, oh, all these things are happening to me. No, what is showing up? Why is it showing up? And what is your role in it? Okay? And that's not always a good pill to swallow. LOL, I should have put a question mark. Are you going to pull a card for the group? Oh, no group card. Oh, no group card. Oh, yeah, I'm going to pull a card for the group. I am. Absolutely. You know, I like to wrap it up with a group card. Wait, I had an X pop up too. Listen, the X's will come. The X's will come. Oh man, I can be the biggest enabler. I have been that person. This is a real thing. Let go of attachments and control. Yes, absolutely. So we're going to conclude with a card for the collective. And I'm going to pull an oracle card, actually. And I'm going to roll with Spirit Oracle. I'm using the Spirit Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno. I'm going to pull one Oracle card and one Tarot card. Ooh, we got a jumper. And let me get this Tarot card. We got to wrap it all up. All right. Okay. So for the Oracle card, we have Kuan Yin. Love her. And for the Tarot card, we got the Six of Pentacles. Now, this card is a double-sided oracle, so I'm going to read what it says. But let me just tell you what's coming up when it comes to this. The message for the collective. Okay, Kuan Yin is all about compassion. Is about the word that comes to mind is inner peace. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is, you know, we're talking about the earthly realm, but then we're also looking at like rationing out, trying to like it, you know, I view this as kind of like decision making between like, oh, well, how am I going to where am I placing my energy? Where am I placing my effort? I look at Pentacles not just as money, but as energy. Where am I placing the energy or the effort? Where is it going? Okay. Now, this is what sticks out to me. I like to break down what I'm seeing since I'm doing a live tarot chat. This can help you when it comes to how you unpack your own readings. What's sticking out to me is you see the blue in Kuan Yin and the blue robe here. What's really sticking out to me is this. You see, he's giving to this other person here. So how I view this is, how much attention are you placing on the thing that really is not allowing you to feel that sense of inner peace? What is keeping you distracted? What is keeping you at that point of feeling like you're always on edge or feeling unsettled? What is keeping you from moving forward, from taking action, from doing the damn thing? Like, what are you like procrastinating about? Anytime, for me personally, anytime Kuan Yin comes out, she's like, hey, it's time for you to move forward through love. Don't be fearful. Don't be fearful. Don't be afraid of the next step. Don't be afraid to quit the job. Don't be afraid to start the business. Don't be afraid to write the book. Don't be afraid to start the social media page. Don't be afraid to start the website. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to say yes. Do it through love and compassion. Think about how you can show up for others in the work that you're meant to do in this world. So pay attention to that, because distractions come easily and you can feel obligated to do this for other people. And by other people, this is what's coming up as well. sometimes the other people are your family and friends, and that they're distracting you. You feel like, oh, well, I got to do all this for them, but what about how you're supposed to serve the world and the people, and what about all the other people you're meant to serve? You're not on this planet just to be there for your family. No. And most of the time, your family ain't really rolling with you like that anyway. Just okay. It's just like, oh, I'm supposed to think. It's time to think bigger. Think beyond your means of who you are supposed to ration things out for. Think beyond. Think bigger. And I'm telling you, if I stayed focused on just stay focused on me, or the things that's like, oh, or my fears, or just focused on just this kind of tunnel vision of, oh, I'm just supposed to stay safe and do this thing to help this small group of people. It's like, no. Spirit's like, no. It's time to make a bigger impact. And that can be terrifying and fearful. And Kuan Yin, and let me read what Kuan Yin says. Enjoy the journey of life. Be not afraid of its mysteries. Take a chance and follow your heart. You are guided and protected by Kuan Yin, goddess of mercy, compassion, and transformation. If you have been wavering about proceeding with something that is dear to you, then this is your confirmation. Just do it. I mean, hello. I'm just saying. Now it's time to do it. Do it. Release the thing that is holding you back or making you feel like, oh, well, I'm doing something over here. I'm doing a little something. I'm doing a little something. It's like, no, you're not doing enough anymore. It's not enough anymore. It's not enough. And you have to move through compassion. What does it say here? She is the goddess of mercy, compassion, and transformation. Have mercy on yourself. Have compassion for yourself and for others. The people that you don't know that you're supposed to serve. You think, listen, so I've been focusing more on my YouTube channel, right? I've told you I have Facebook fatigue, trying to grow my channel and things like that. And I know it's the long game with my channel, my YouTube channel, and my podcast. And I'm fine with that. I don't know everybody who's going to watch this. You could be watching this 3 or 4 years from now. It could be 2023. It could be 2045. I don't know. Who knows who this is going to impact? I don't know who's listening to my podcast all the time. I appreciate those that show up and tune into the live streams and comment, on my Instagram and stuff like that on the things that I'm doing. But think about all the people that aren't, or that are just watching and aren't commenting. They're just watching and tuning in, whatever, and not saying anything, aren't subscribed, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm doing the work. I'm creating the impact, and the impact does not always require immediate feedback of how it's showing up for other people. All I know is it is my responsibility to put the message out there, to do my thing. Not everybody's going to agree with it. Not everybody's going to like it. My family's going to judge. My family has judged me for some of the shit that I be doing. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. You want to know why I don't care? Because Spirit said it's not about them. People just don't want to. My mama don't want to say her daughter is a damn tarot reader and a damn shadow worker and a damn. She don't want to say that. It ain't about her. Spirit be like, listen, what about the work you're supposed to do for the world beyond your own limiting beliefs? You're trying to put pennies. And Spirit's like, listen, it's time to balance this thing out. So do you see how I got this connection? The visual interpretation of the blue, and then so that is what was coming up for me visually. It's like you're placing your attention where it does not need to be anymore. It is time for transformation, and Kuan Yin be coming through with it. Child, stop talking to me. Family is one of my distractions. Family will be the biggest distraction in your life. I'm telling you. And you got to let that shit go. Be who you are. Be the truth of who you are. Yeah, they're not going to understand. They're not going to care. They're going to be upset. There's going to be all these different things, but it's so much bigger than your family. And I don't say that to be insensitive, but it's so much bigger. Do you feel your sole purpose in this world is just to take care of your family or be there for your family? What are you meant to do for the world, for the universe, for everybody? How are you meant to show up in a much bigger, more expansive state? Because this is about divine self. And there's even things, even still now, that I'm just like, okay, Spirit's like, it's time to do this other thing. I'm just like, oh, I got to do this now. Now there's even more. I'm just like, it's still, it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I hope that this message that you have received, let me put it this way, that this message is received. I feel like I need to read this card again. Enjoy the journey of life. Be not afraid of its mysteries. Take a chance and follow your heart. You are guided and protected by Kuan Yin, goddess of mercy, compassion, and transformation. If you have been wavering about proceeding with something that is dear to you, then this is your confirmation. Just do it. So that is the message. Yes. Oh my God, I said those same words to my supervisor. I said, the job, the money is not enough. I'm telling you, it's not. Sometimes it's not. It's not. It is not. Solar plexus, yes. That is all solar plexus. So do you see where the importance of the solar plexus and why I put the solar plexus before the throat chakra? Question, which chakra is related to confidence and self-esteem? Oh yeah, okay. Desiree was answering that. It is the solar plexus, Jennifer. What about talking about the past? I tend to talk about my past and trauma, and I'm aware of it when I do it. Oh yeah, it was the 2 exes that came back around. Yeah, if you continue to talk about your past, and then maybe you only identify yourself with your past and who you were as your past self, and I feel like what's coming up is a fear of your future, a fear of moving forward. It's like there's a fear there. It's easier to look in the past than to do the work that's going to align you with your future self. The past is easy. You don't have to, because the past has already happened. You don't have to do anything more. You can just think about the past and like assess it. You don't have to take action there. But the future and the present moment, that requires action. So that is probably why. I hope that was helpful. I hope you all enjoyed the message for today. And this tarot chat has been amazing. Be sure to tune in every Friday throughout the length of this challenge, which this challenge will take us right into the spring equinox. And if you're interested in participating in this tarot challenge, check out the playlist on my YouTube channel. Head over to Wadjet, and you will see the tarot challenge, Reconnect with Your Inner Guidance. It is a 45-day challenge, and it is designed to be very simple, but really it's about committing to yourself. Whether you are going through each video and pulling 1 card a day, and you're going by your own timeline, whether you're pulling 10 cards in one day, whatever works for you, make it work for you. It only works if you work it. All right. We have tomorrow is going to be the third eye chakra. That's going to be the prompt, and it'll go out early. The video will go out at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And then Sunday, we start a brand new theme. So I look forward to those videos for the new theme. And if you want some additional guidance, if you have some interest in wanting to work with me further, you can head over to my website, ujawadjet.com. And just click on work with me and click on the drop down, just click on free 15-minute consultation and just let me know what your interest is. Right now, I don't have readings or energy healings on the site, but that will be coming back up if that's an interest for you. But I also have coaching and other areas that I can support you with. So you can head over there if you are interested in that. And also check out the podcast, Fit Body, Fit Spirit podcast. I named a few episodes here that could be very useful. And you can check out I just recently started doing video podcasting here on the YouTube channel. So you can hear the audio only version or the last 2 episodes, the one that dropped yesterday and last week are video as well. And last week I did my first ever video interview. I had my first guest ever, which was Mayette, Coach Mayette, and we love her around here. And we talked about healing through shadow work. So those are, so that's a good episode. And then if you want to improve your psychic abilities and you don't know where to start, then check out the video that I posted yesterday, episode 32, where I talk about that. So I asked for the message by asking about the group pool card. Yes, you did. So you better do something about it now. Thank you, everyone. It has been a pleasure. I'll see you on the next one.